Hey guys, it's JR here with Redwall Marketing, and today we're talking about social media and how to increase engagement and really response from your market on the various social media networks. And I decided to do this topic today because talking with a client last week, she mentioned that there was something I taught her that has been one of the most impactful things for her on social media, and really just how she talks to her customers in general, even in email. And that was that in consulting on how to do social media and some changes that she needed to do on her Facebook page, was I mentioned that, you know, a good rule of thumb is to treat social media like a cocktail party. Now, I didn't invent that phrase. I didn't coin that. I don't know who did. It's been something that you'll hear a lot of people say. So I don't know who first said it. But the idea is, if you were at a cocktail party, what would you be saying to the people there? Or what would the most popular person at the cocktail party be doing? Would they be handing out business cards on a constant basis? Would they be trying to sell you something every time they talk to you? Or would that be the person you try to avoid? If you're at a cocktail party and somebody's pitching their network marketing thing and telling you how you can work from home for $1,000 a week, and all you gotta do is sell these little pills to people and get people to sell more pills for you, and sign people up to sell this pill or that pill, and how likely are you to engage with that person or seek that person out? Or go grab your best friend and say, hey, you've got to hear this. Like, come over here. You got to hear this guy. He's got this business opportunity for you, Or hey, you got to go find the guy that's handing out business cards. That guy's awesome. If you just walk up to him and hand you a business card, that's just not happening, right? I mean, it's maybe a very rare case. I mean, must be a spectacular business card. You open up this fireworks shootout, but it's just not going to happen. So people don't go on social media to see what your business is doing and to be offered something. In very rare cases, and I'll use this as an example, there could be, for instance, I think I saw Charmin doing this a lot. They give out a lot of coupons for toilet paper, and they've got a pretty big following on Facebook, but most of the following is just looking for some coupons, and that's all they really care about. In fact, I saw posts where, and again, this was a couple years ago at least, so I do not know what they're doing today on Facebook, but I remember seeing like a random post about some event, and like half the comments were, got any coupons? Got any coupons? So they built a following of just leechers looking for coupons who have nothing better to do with their time but try to save $1 on toilet paper. So that's what they built because that's what they were doing, essentially. And that's not what you want to build, because that's not engagement. And you're not Charmin, okay? You're not one of the world's leading toilet paper manufacturers. So don't try to duplicate what they're doing. Don't try to replicate what they're doing. It's not going to work for you. You've got to talk to your audience like they're people. Have fun with them. Engage with them. Be the life of the party for them. People go on Facebook to look at cats falling off of bookcases or chasing, fuzzballs or whatever. That's what they're there for. They're there to escape work and, bills and just life in general and go see something funny or whatever. Doesn't mean that they don't engage in business stuff or share in business items or like to see that kind of stuff. But you got to realize why they're there. You got to know your market. So think of it as a cocktail party. You're there to unwind, loosen up your tie, relax, have fun with friends. The last thing you want is somebody coming up and handing you a coupon or handing you an offer or saying, here's my business card. Come to this event. That's not what people want, right? So if you go in it with the mindset of let's treat this like a cocktail party, think about who's going to be the most entertaining person at that cocktail party. Who's going to be the person that you would say, hey, Joe, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this lady. You got to see what she's talking about. Who's that type of person? Probably somebody who's got an interesting story, somebody who's talking about maybe something that they did. Could even be the person that's introducing people the most, could be the person that's connecting people, going up and asking you about yourself and then saying, oh, you know what, I heard, I met this other guy, over here, he does the same thing. Here, let's go find him, and making connections. Okay. But scientifically, we are wired that when somebody takes an interest in us, we build a liking for that person. So by asking questions and listening to that person, finding out what they do and, who you're here with and, just general topics, conversation around them, interest in them, you just get greater response, greater feedback. They're going to have a natural liking to you. And, that guy at the cocktail party is going to be the one that everybody wants to talk to. That the lady that walks in and's got a great story or is sharing a really cool photo or news article or video of a cat falling off a bookcase, that's the one that's going to get the attention. That's the one that's going to create the noise. And eventually what happens is when somebody's really engaged in a conversation, ultimately the topic comes up. Hey, what do you do? They're going to ask what you do for a living. It's almost always happens. I mean, it's just kind of like what identifies us in a way. Who are we're talking about fun stuff. We're talking about kids. We're talking about bowling. We're talking about sports. And they'll say, hey, what do you do for work? That naturally comes up. Now we get into a little bit more business type stuff. So the idea is not necessarily to go out there and just literally treat it like a cocktail party, but understand that your market cares about themselves first and foremost. And on social media, they're there to have fun. So while you may not have the funnest stuff to post, if you post things that are kind of interesting, you post things that kind of, pique people's interest. The hotel the client I was speaking about, they run a hotel. And so instead of just offering these different things about the hotel or whatever, we focused more on sharing interesting things that are going on in the town that are really fun, that the audience would find interesting. Photos of the area. They're in a beautiful area. So photos daily of the area and some of the cool stuff or the wildlife that's there. Those get shared and liked like crazy. And that increased engagement. And then we started posting, little funny things about the area that made sense for that area. And what happens is your people that are following you, the people that are on there, are liking the post, commenting on the post. You're asking questions. What's your favorite part of this season? You're really engaging. You're asking questions that that people want to answer. And their friends see this, right? So if you're looking at Facebook, how often have you seen that one of your friends liked a photo or commented on a post? So what happens is depending on your settings, as this happens, you like a photo, and then your friend who happens to like the same type of stuff sees it, and then they like it, and then they like, well, who shared this? And then they go to the page and they see, wow, they post some really cool stuff every day. And then they like the page, right? And so you build this following because you're interesting. You're generating a crowd. And then occasionally you throw out, as you've got this crowd, by the way, don't forget, we've got this event coming up next week. Here's a cool video of how it looked last year. And, this is what we're doing. Or maybe you do have a sale item, so you throw that out there a little bit. They see it, right? It's going to be seen in their feed. Even if they ignore it. The bigger your audience gets, the higher, chance you're going to have of some of them taking you up on the offer. It's just going to work in the percentages as long as it's a good thing you're posting. But then you go back to the cocktail party mentality. So think of it as a guideline, not as necessarily a set in stone, this is how you've got to be all the time. But think about it as a guideline. Are you becoming that guy that's handing out business cards all day or pitching an offer all day? If you are, stop and go back to the cocktail party mentality, right? Are you sharing things that are interesting to your market? stuff that they'll engage with. Look back at your history and see what has been the stuff that people took most interest in. What has been the topics, the posts, or videos, or images you've shared that got the most reaction? And go back to more of that, and then mix in an occasional offer once in a while. Okay, that'll keep a nice healthy balance, and then you still hopefully get some type of a return from it because you're throwing something else out there. Use it as a chance to humanize the company is another great way. A logo is not going to walk into a cocktail party. Okay, you walk into a cocktail party. Your employees can walk into a cocktail party, but no, there's not going to be a logo bouncing around in a cocktail party. Okay, humanize the company with social media. Post stories about employees and maybe what they like to do, and share birthdays from the company. As much as that may not be exciting for somebody that, Tina here has a birthday at this company, it does help to humanize the company, and people love to see other people happy. It's just kind of natural. You see, that's why congratulations type posts go crazy. You post that. I mean, look at how many people like to just write happy birthday to each other on Facebook. Or you announce a pregnancy or a wedding or whatever. Those types of posts always get the most engagement because we like to see that kind of stuff. It's kind of nice to congratulate somebody. So when you post that, hey, it's Tina or Joe's birthday, and maybe you've got a cake or a party you did for them or a surprise thing, people kind of like to see that. It's kind of one of those things that you look at and you kind of smile by yourself at the photo of somebody with cake all over their face because that's what you guys did at your party, or they've got silly string all over them. Those are the kind of things that kind of keeps people engaged and excited. So focus on that aspect. Okay, focus on, in a sense, being the life of the party. Don't go overboard with it. Okay, but focus on being the life of the party. Now, on the other side of that, it doesn't mean, because some will say, well, it's always got to be live, it's got to be spontaneous, whatever. I believe you can balance that with, in my opinion, automation and other methods, okay? So, some are not fans of automation. I am. If you're a business owner, you're busy. And unless you've got somebody dedicated to doing this kind of stuff, it's very difficult. But you almost want to plan out things a little bit. You want to make sure that you've got a strategy in mind and a methodology. You don't want to forget things, important dates that are coming up. So, for instance, I like telling clients to plan out holidays in advance. Have your graphics department get a Merry Christmas and Happy Thanksgiving and New Year's and all those things queued up in advance. And you can have those things go out. You can have a Happy New Year go out at midnight on New Year's Eve without having somebody sitting at the computer to do that. And that's going to work just fine. I mean, honestly, sure, would it be great if your whole company's live tweeting your New Year's Eve party? Yeah, that'd be cool too, as long as nobody gets out of hand. But you may not have that capability, so don't sweat it if you don't. Go just, mix it in. So I don't want to say, hey, just you always got to be live and you always got to be spontaneous. Look, you got a business to run, and not everybody can do things like that. So just balance it with making sure you're not the person people are going to avoid. Automate, but not to the point where every hour something's going out emotionless. Okay? That's not the way to do it. Okay? Posting 20 cat photos a week on automated, on autopilot is not the way to do it. You see something funny online, save it, share it later. You got a cool quote or something cool you saw, share it. Let's say you got a bunch of really cool stuff happens on the weekend that you think is worth posting. Schedule it. Schedule 3 of them for the week, I've had clients where I've had them just do, especially in certain industries, for instance, a clothing creator, they created clothing. We found funny photos that were really funny to their market, and we scheduled them every week. We'd schedule every Monday morning for an hour. They'd schedule out for the week what was going to post. Okay, and then it was mixed in with random things throughout the week. Something cool they saw, something cool somebody shared with them. And it was a perfect mix, and it went viral. It went nuts. The page really, really grew from those posts because that's what their audience was sharing the most. And then occasionally they throw out a discount or an offer or a reminder that they're going to be at an event. It worked perfectly. Engagement went through the roof. More fans, more sales started to come in from Facebook. Same with that hotel client. As soon as they changed their mentality on how to engage the audience and how to make it more about the audience and how to make it more about having fun and sharing things they liked, huge spike in engagement, huge growth in fans, and now we've got more leads coming in from Facebook, more bookings come in from Facebook from those efforts. So it works, but you've got to balance it. You're busy. Yes, you want to automate at times. Yes, you want to you want to simplify things. But balance it with, what would I do at a cocktail party? Would I say this at a cocktail party? Okay? And again, there are exceptions when you have something legitimate to offer or you have an event coming up. But even if you were at a cocktail party, right? Let's say you go to this cocktail party every Friday night. You're at this party every Friday night. Same group of people. Occasionally, more people come to the party, right? Kind of changes. Some people leave, some people come, some people bring their friends, their family, It's not crazy to sometimes announce, hey guys, by the way, I'm doing an event Tuesday, and we're doing it at the office. There's like 20% off everything. Come on by if you want. Would love to see you there. And then go back to your normal routine, right? People are going to remember. A handful of them will go, right? Based on the percentages. The more people you got at the party, the bigger chance you got at getting people to take in your offer. So that's when I say treat social media like a cocktail party. That's what I mean. I mean to have fun with it, humanize the company. Don't be the person at the party that people want to avoid. That's really more important. Is just don't be that guy. Don't be the person people want to avoid at the party. Think of your audience that way. Who would they avoid? Be the opposite of that, right? So it's all about balance. Mix in some fun, and then throw in some other things. Another really good thing I'd like to add to that is give to your audience. Remember to give. Remember to help. Share and have fun, yes, but give to your audience as well. Give them cool tips and things that are going to actually be useful to them. Not random things, but things that are going to be useful to them. Continue to do that on a daily basis if you can, weekly, whatever your post scheduling looks like. But people love free tips. They love free help. It doesn't even have to necessarily be in your industry. It might be some recipe you saw, some really cool thing that, Halloween's coming up or whatever, and you saw some really cool recipe for Halloween treats. Throw that out there. Guys, check this out. We're doing this. You might want to do it. Something helpful to them as well. That's, again, person at a cocktail party, right? The guy that's talking about how he or she buys cars below cost at car dealerships, right? That might build a crowd, especially anybody that's looking to buy a car anytime soon. Or how they did, something in some event, right? Helpful things. So don't be afraid to offer help to your clients. Don't be afraid to talk about common events, but not in the sense that I've seen these autopilot social media profiles where all they're doing is posting common news. Nobody cares. If they wanted a news feed, they'd go follow a news feed, right? Why would I follow you for a news feed? If you're trying to be, what is it, the E channel or something, or TMZ, who cares? I can go follow them if I really want that stuff. But it's okay to throw that kind of stuff in once in a while. Some major event happens, and so you're talking about it. Not just posting it. Not just sharing a link to it. Because I've seen that a lot. Gosh, I see that. Somebody must have gave some really bad advice at some point that said, hey, just take common news topics and throw them out on your Twitter feed or your Facebook wall all day. 3 or 4 posts. That's just not going to cut it. Could you do what's called newsjacking, which again is not my term, where there's a popular topic and you go talk about it? Absolutely, but like a person at a cocktail party, a person who would say, "Guys, did you hear about this thing that happened? What do you think? What do you think is going to be the outcome? What would you do in that situation? How would you handle that?" That's perfectly fine. That's great. Now you're taking a news topic. You're involving your audience. It's something really cool. It's not some automated news feed. Don't do that. Oh, I see that so often. All right? So that's the idea of the cocktail party. Hopefully that kind of clears that up. I thought it'd be a good topic to cover because it was something that I talked about with my client. And every time, I got to every time I have that conversation with a client and they implement that, huge spike in engagement. It just hasn't failed yet. Is it always perfect? No, there's always more to learn. There's always better ways to do something. And, we tweak things as we go. But that initial conversation, getting in that initial mindset, always results in an enormous spike in engagement. And it grows their following, and it grows the response when they do have an offer or when they do have a coupon that they need to give or whatever it is, that grows. So again, treat it like a cocktail party. Have fun with your audience. They're human. You're human. They're on Facebook to escape life. And, there's a reason why Facebook engagement is enormous in the mid-afternoon. Okay? It's when people are working, right? From 9 to 5, Facebook should be, it's at its lowest point, right? If you ask people when they think Facebook's most active, some people would say, well, at nighttime when they're off work, right? No, it's during work. That's when they're looking. They're escaping work. They're getting a 5-minute break, and they want to look at something. They don't want to see your offer, right? Unless it's after a lot of other funny, great stuff that they really think is cool to look at. So treat it like a cocktail party. Balance that mentality though with making sure, most importantly, you're not that person that they want to avoid. Feel free to automate, but not in a, emotionless news feed way. Okay? Automate the funny stuff, automate some good quotes and some good, some jokes or some good videos out there or some, other things, holiday announcements or whatever, but still make it human. Throw in some spontaneous in there, throw in some company fun, add a face to the company, be human, be fun, and avoid being the person that you would want to avoid at a party. So hopefully that helps. I'd love for you to implement that. Let me know how it's working for you. You can always send us an email on the website, redwallmarketing.com. Let us know how you do that in your business, or you can comment on this post right on the site. Let me know how you're doing it. Let me know how you're doing this in your business and how it's affected your business. So get out there, get into the cocktail party, have some fun, and we'll see you next week.